Hare Krishna. I have a bit of a flu, so my voice is not so clear. I'll try. Okay, so we're coming back to the summary of Nectar of Devotion page for our Bhakti Shastri. So we're doing the second wave at the moment, which is mainly dealing with Sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti, and Raghunaga Bhakti. Within that, we have covered Sadhana Bhakti in previous class. And last week we started chapter 5. So we'll just do a quick review of chapter 5 and 6, and we'll dive into 7 and 8 today. Okay, chapter 5, the purity of devotional service. Anyone remembers what's the theme of this chapter? What does this purity mean? Just one word you can use. What does purity of devotional service mean? It is independent.
Independent nature.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So bhakti is always independent of any material things. But bhakti is dependent on one thing. What is that one thing bhakti is dependent on? Anyone?
Mercy.
Someone said mercy.
Yes, brother. Mercy.
Okay,
Mercy.
anything else? Yes.
Is it desire, bro? Desire to do devotion.
Desire. Okay. Anything else? There's a one verse which we discussed last week, which has the answer. Bhakti is dependent on bhakti. Bhakti sanjayate bhakti. Bhakti gives bhakti. So there's a famous verse in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So bhakti sanjayate bhakti. If you want to increase bhakti, it is through bhakti. And obviously, as Mataji said, Vijayagopi Mataji, the mercy gets introduced in the conditioned jiva's life. So what we are discussing in this particular chapter, bhakti is independent of any material cause. What are the three main material processes of self-realization? Anyone?
Karam Kanda, Gyan Yoga,
Yes.
and Tang Yoga.
Thank you, Mataji. What does Karam Kanda mean?
That yagnas we do that is not successful
Yes.
for.
So yajna is dependent on certain things. What are the certain things yajna is dependent on?
Time,
Time.
place, and
Place
ingredients.
and purity ingredients. All these things has to be pakka. You cannot perform any yajna anytime. You cannot perform any yajna anywhere. It has to have some ingredients. Anyone can compare this one with bhakti? Does bhakti need any ingredients?
No.
Bhakti need any place? You can only perform bhakti in India, in Vrindavan, not in Australia or in Europe. Bhakti need anything which has to be brought from outside? No. So bhakti is completely independent in this case. Jnana Kanda. What does Jnana Kanda dependent on? Jnana Yoga, Jnana Kanda.
Intelligence, intellectual.
Yep.
Peacefulness, renounced.
Yes. Detachment, extreme detachment to the material world is just the starting of it. How many of us are detached? Fully detached. Even to detach oneself from one meal is difficult. What to speak for the whole day, huh? We are not so detached, and it's not even needed. So detachment is needed, but it's not one of the limbs of devotion. What is needed is attachment. For Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, detachment is a big prerequisite. It's quite peaceful, renounced disposition, and highly developed intellect. And many, many examples which we discussed last week, they had practically no intellect. They're even not even humans, they're only animals, but they're also great devotees of the Lord. And Ashtanga Yoga demands many rigid prerequisites that only a sannyasi can even begin to adopt. We can't even think about all these things. But they are valid mark, they are valid path, not practical. So bhakti, as Rupa Goswami says, only bhakti yoga is completely pure, free from any dependence on any external prerequisite. We discussed last week how bhakti encompasses karma, jnana, and ashtanga. Anyone remembers how? Bhakti encompasses all three automatically without separately developing any individual path.
Bhakti includes all three because the karma, we do various activities for the pleasure of the Lord. Then jnana, we learn about our identity and the Lord's position and our relationship. And the Ashtanga is we meditate on the Lord. So all three are done in
Yep.
Bhakti Yoga.
Yep. Thank you, Mataji. There's a little bit more to it, although this is correct. In karma, it says you're working for someone, right? Karma means activity, you work. When you work for someone, you may not love that person. But if you love someone, you automatically work for that person, isn't it? A mother loves a child, so automatically mother will work for the child. So karma is already included. So bhakti means love to Lord. So when you love the Lord, you'll automatically do activity for the Lord. Jnana Yoga, you're connecting Lord with the intellect. Huh? Again, you may know someone, like in office, your boss or someone, but you may not love your boss. May not love your boss. But if you love someone, you automatically want to know more about that person, isn't it? That's why we are reading these books to know more about Krishna and how much he loves us. Bhakti Rasamrat Maharaj said, if you only knew how much Krishna loves you, you have no other option except to love him back. We just don't have that understanding as yet, realization as yet, that how much Krishna loves us. Many times, some teenage kids may disrespect their father or mother, saying different things, Mama, you don't understand, Papa, you don't understand, and what have you done for me? You have ruined my whole life, just because they couldn't get a toy or some object of their affection. But they don't know how much parents love the children. Huh? Anyone have felt, especially when they are teenage? And we may have done the same thing to our parents. Huh? In that young age, we don't realize just because one of the object which they are not providing us, we see the whole picture through that one object. But parents love us so much. Only because of our parents we are here. They have given us this body. They have given every single thing. But kids may not realize. Similarly, we as kids don't realize how much Krishna has given us. And we always complain about the one thing which we wanted, Krishna didn't give. And we blame, oh God, uh, can I have this? Krishna will say no. Can I have that? Krishna will say no. Can I have this plant? No. Can I have this? No. And you just look at Krishna. Krishna, you're always saying no. Huh? Keshav Maharaj always says this thing. When you go on book distribution, you have to start taking no in a style. So take no in a style. So when Krishna is saying no, 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 you take it in style. Thank you, Krishna. No problem. Have a good day. So we have to start taking no's of life in style. Otherwise, it becomes very stressful. And Ashtanga Yoga, again, through your thoughts, you're trying to connect with someone. You may not love that person, but if you love that person, your thoughts will automatically be connected. Prabhupada gave this example of when a small child goes to school and mother looks at the shoes of the child, mother remembers the child, because the shoes are connected with the child, the toys are connected with the child. So when we love Krishna, all these three marks are automatically included in that and much more than that. So bhakti is beyond all material consideration, not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstances, open for all without any distinction because it is the constitutional occupation of all living entities. So three things mainly Rupa Goswami discusses in this chapter: birth, purity, and execution of varnashram duties. So birth, I'll just quickly read the red ones. Although generally considered a disqualification from the path of self-realization, low birth does not impede the execution of devotional service. Anyone remembers any examples? How low birth does not impede anyone to advance
Narad,
in devotional service.
Narad Muni Shabri.
Narad Muni, Shabri, thank you. So Narad Muni in the previous
Haridas
birth, he was
Thakur. Haridas
Haridas
Thakur.
Thakur. He was not even a so-called Hindu, such a great acharya. More. So these are all humans we are talking. Anything else?
Kakbhushande,
Kag Bhushundi, a crow. Crow is considered a very low quality bird.
Hanumanji. Hanumanji.
Hanumanji, a
Gajendra.
monkey.
Jatayu,
Jatayu, a bird. Again, Jatayu, hawk, eagle are not considered very high quality because they eat something, yeah, which is not. But these devotees are considered one of the best devotees. We quote their examples again and again. We get so much inspiration in our devotional life from their example, which clearly proves birth is not an impediment. We also quote a different Shastras, Padma Purana, Skand Purana, Hari Bhakti Vilas, which clearly mentions that birth is not important if you want to become advanced devotee. So it's not like Prabhupada sometime get criticized Prabhupada is giving initiation to all these white people or Western-bodied people. They are malechas. People used to criticize them like that. But Prabhupada said, no, this is what Shastra is saying. So Shastra Vani cannot be false. Shastra is aparushaya, cannot be false. But Rupa Goswami says, just because you have got an initiation, if you do not follow regulatory principles nicely, you are still fallen. So just not, if you get initiation from a bona fide spiritual master, that's not the end of the journey, it's the beginning of the journey. Second one, we discussed about the purity. Although a major prerequisite for other processes of self-realization, purity is not a factor in determining one's eligibility to perform devotional service. Whether you are pure or impure, whether your place is pure or impure, your thought, you have impure thoughts, you can still perform devotional service. Prabhupada said even a dog can perform devotional service. Even a child can perform without even realizing. We have little Janki here somewhere. She keep performing devotional service by clapping her hand, playing Mridanga and Kartal, and Vaishnav is also here somewhere. So they may not know what they are doing, but just by going down to Lord, just clapping in the kirtan, they are performing devotional service. That soul is advancing. And we had different evidences by Shastra. This is all from Hari Bhakti Vilas. Purity, we get example of Ajamil as well. Ajamil wasn't pure. We know the whole pastime, but even he led a almost impure life, whole life, practically speaking. At the end of the life, at the age of 88, he realized, no, I'm doing wrong and I need to perform devotional service. And within 15 years, he perfected his life, went back to Godhead. Such a great example. In the third, Rupa Goswami describes execution of prescribed duties, as we have Prabhupada talks about in Udupi Krishna in Bangalore, which is the headquarter. Udupi is the headquarter. It mentions in Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. Prabhupada mentions that as well. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a big debate with the Mathadish of Udupi Math, and he was in this concept of you have to execute Varnashram duties nicely. So from Shudra you become a Vaishya, from Vaishya you become Kshatriya, Kshatriya to Brahman, and only Brahmans can go back to Godhead. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denied that. He said, Bhakti is not linear like that. Anyone can start Bhakti from any place, and he can advance in that. Anyone remembers the example which we discussed last week?
Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruv Maharaj, thank you, Mataji. Dhruv Maharaj is a very good example. More. Narad Muni also we discussed from the previous birth. One more example which we discussed, which came randomly in my mind last week.
Vritasur Prabhu.
Vritasur. Okay. No execution of devotee. Yep, that's fine. Subudhi Rai. Remember Subudhi Rai we discussed? Subudhi Rai was a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but initially he was a Brahman, a teacher, but when his caste was taken away by Mohammedan, so-called caste was taken, different Brahmins were recommending him to die, actually commit suicide, and then take next birth. Your caste is gone, you can't do. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? He laughed at him and he said, just chant Hare Krishna and do Vaishnav Seva. And what does Vaishnav Seva? He said, of Bengali Vaishnavas are not very rich, they are poor. So you can help him by providing them rice and mustard oil. That's the only thing. And chant Hare Krishna. And he said, your caste has not gone anywhere. So all these misconceptions are getting removed by these writings of Rupa Goswami. Conclusion. Bhakti Yoga is totally independent and self-sufficient. You don't need anything external for this. No material impediment should discourage one from the path of surrender. Any jiva performs any smallest seva to the Lord. Lord never forgets that seva. Okay, any questions on this one? Okay, then we're starting this chapter 6, which mentions the name of all the limbs of 64 devotional different limbs of devotion service, which is 64. So chapter 6 just mentions all the names. Last week has already started mentioning different names. So Rupa Goswami divides 20 plus 44, 20 items of primary importance, and 44 are additional items. Within 20, we have 10 to do's and 10 to avoid. So pravritti and nivritti, 44 additional items, again can be divided into two subcategories. One is 39 items of additional value, and just say 5 are most effective items. So last week we started naming them. I'll not name all of them. So these are the 10 pravrittis which we should do, and today we'll start reading one by one. And there are 10 nivrittis which we should avoid. And then we discuss what are the 44 additional items. They belong to body, voice, taste, smell, touch, sight, hearing, mind, tadiya seva, mixed, and principal items, which is the 5. So I'll not read these ones. Just get into chapter 7. Okay, any questions so far? Just revise in 1 minute. You can try looking into detail. So this chapter 7 deals with 18 items. So out of 20 primary items, chapter 7 deals with 18 items. 19th item will be dealt in chapter 8, and 20th item will be dealt in chapter 9. So you can understand 19 and 20 are extremely important to understand. So Rupa Goswami has given full chapter for that. And this chapter will discuss 18 items, so 10 positives and 8 negatives. So let's start those 10 positives. So these are the 10 items, pravritti items. And out of these 10, actually says out of 20, the first 3 are the most important. I'll quickly read. So Guru Padashrayas Krishna Dikshadi Sikshanam Vishrambhen Guru Seva. So this is in relation to Guru, because Guru is the one who is giving to give you light to do another 61 items, isn't it? So unless you have Guru in your life, you don't know what to do. So these 3 items are considered the most important because this is the starting point. First 20 angas serve as the door for entering bhakti. The first 3 angas are said to be the principal ones. And this is related to Guru. So we'll start reading one by one. So Guru Pradashrayas. The translation is taking shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Now in this particular topic, Rupa Goswami, and I should rather say Prabhupada, is describing what are the qualifications of the Guru, what are the disqualifications of the Guru, and what is the importance of having the Guru. So we'll read these 3 subcategories within this category, how important that is to Pad Ashraya, taking the shelter of the lotus feet of Guru. So Prabhupada says, is the most important item because it is the Guru who instructs us on the practice and significance of the other 63 items. Now, who should approach Guru? Bhagavatam says, Krishna is speaking with Uddhav. This is the very, very famous verse. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam Shabde Pare Chanishnatam Brahmani Upashrama Shrayam. Tasmad, that person, Gurum Prapadyeta. Prapadyeta means surrender. Guru means Guru. That person should surrender to Guru. Jigyasu. Jigyasu means inquisitiveness. Shreya Uttamam, who has the highest jigyasa for his Shreya. Shreya and Preya. So Preya sometimes we say which is Priya, favorable to us right now. Shreya is what is favorable in long term. So this person has a jigyasa which is favorable for him long term, not short term. Many times we have many inclination to ask our Guru what is prayers. Abhi, what is happening in my life right now? And we don't look at the whole picture. We just see problems on their own. We don't see as Krishna's plan in the bigger picture, and we start asking if we want some solution from the Guru. Guru Maharaj, this is not working well, that is not working well, how to do this, how to not do this. And many times the inquiries are related to material things rather than spiritual things. But Bhagavatam is saying, one who has completely considered this material world as futile, is useless, nothing is going to work here, that person should take shelter of the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master. But if you still have interest in the material world, as per Bhagavatam, you're not a qualified person. So many of us in this call are initiated. I'm not sure as per this definition how many of us are qualified. But obviously Guru is very compassionate and they still give us shelter, they still guide us, they still tolerate us for all our, the things which are not directly related to Krishna consciousness, they still tolerate us. But as per this verse, Tasmad Gurum, only that person should go to Guru. who has nothing to do with the material world. We're still struggling. I'm struggling. Prabhupada, I speak this is 11.321. So in this verse, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, only a person who has understood the futility of material sense gratification can approach, the word used here is can approach a bona fide spiritual master. How many of us have understood the futility of material sense gratification? Even after here in ISKCON, say 20 plus years. That's the first principle of devotional service, to clearly understand that material world is a false shelter. Prahlad Maharaj words here, Durashraya, to feel the urgent necessity of a spiritual life. Urgent necessity of spiritual life. How many of us chant with urgency? How many of us? Not me, I'll be honest. It's saying, Bhakti Maharaj saying, urgency in the spiritual life, and therefore seek the genuine shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So this is the prerequisite of before we approach bona fide spiritual master. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are 26 qualities mentioned of a disciple, you can say, or of a devotee. Out of 26 qualities, there's one foremost quality. It says, even if you don't have another 25 or you have in less degree, it's fine. But that one quality everyone must have. What is that one quality? Charumata. Okay. Um, I think she's still on mute. Anyone else? What is that one quality which we all must have? And without that quality, we should not be calling ourselves devotee. We use this term very casually. He's a devotee, really? Or we are devotee for 20 years. We are senior devotees. If someone doesn't call us senior devotee, we may feel offended sometime. But are we devotee? 26 qualities. And even if you forget 25, one quality. What is that one quality? Anyone?
One should be humble or
Surrender.
submissive.
Humble, surrendered. Who said surrendered? Thank you,
Mataji.
Jalasa Mataji. So, Mohit Prabhu, although you're right, this is not the most important quality. Although
Yeah.
you're right, we should be humble. A devotee should be fully surrendered to Krishna.
Submissive is the same thing, submissive
Huh?
or surrender.
Submissive
Submissive,
surrender is same, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
submissive.
Submissive word is used like when you follow 100% your authority, you're fully submissive. Vedic scripture uses this word for Grihastha ashram. It is sort of extinct these days. But anyway, coming to disciple and guru. So this is the most important quality, surrendering to Krishna. And then when we consider your Guru Maharaj as a representative of Krishna, you surrender to your Guru. So surrender to Guru is the most important qualification. And if you don't have that, Jananda Maharaj, his only Jananda Maharaj is here these days. He was giving class on Nityananda Triyodashi, and he was just talking in humor. Sometime Guru Maharaj asked disciple, can you chant 64 rounds? I can't chant, Guru Maharaj. Okay, can you read, can you go and open a temple in Green? Oh, Guru Maharaj, I can't go that. Can you go on Harinam? Guru Maharaj, I can't go, my boss will see me in the city. So what would you like to do? So Guru Maharaj, I can read some books. And Guru Maharaj said, okay, do that. And this disciple will come out and tell everyone, my Guru Maharaj has instructed me to sit at home and read Prabhupada books. So he said, these days, we have to just come down, you're saying for himself. We have to just come down what disciple want. It doesn't matter what Guru wants. Huh? What disciple want, Guru has to come down. But that's not the standard. These Gurus are extremely compassionate. But that's not the standard. Huh? Disciple has to uplift himself, what Guru wants. And this is the most important quality. And that's why many of us struggle in our spiritual life, because our surrender is very, very low. So Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj is clearly saying three things. Material world is a false shelter. Feel the urgency in the spiritual life. Then only we should seek the genuine shelter of spiritual master. Prabhupada writes 8 qualification of a spiritual master in his writings. We'll just read. He should have studied the Vedas. So there are many famous spiritual masters. Someone's forwarded me a clip, 2-minute clip of some other Dharm Guru, very famous, have a lot of followings, and he openly says, I have never read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. He openly says that. And there are many, many followers of that person. Huh? But the first qualification, Prabhupada, he should have studied the Vedas. He should have realized the conclusion of Vedas. It's not just a scholarly thing on the head. I know 15,000 verses. This is not the head thing. And many times you see many sannyasis may not be able to remember the verse correctly, but that's fine. They have realized the verse. That's more important. And as a disciple, you may know that verse fully, but that's not of much importance. The realization is important. First, he should have studied the Vedas. Second, he should have realized the conclusion of the Vedas. So it doesn't mean he would know every single verse of the Vedas, but they have realized the Vedaisya sarver ahameva Vedya. If he knows Krishna fully, he loves Krishna, he is a bona fide spiritual master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, one who knows Krishna, one who loves Krishna, he can be a spiritual master. He should be able to teach the same. So he has full conviction. Keshav Maharaj gives this beautiful example. If he cannot explain a subject matter in a very simple language, that means you don't understand the subject matter well. My Guru Maharaj used to say that as well. He said, if you don't understand, don't explain in the class. So you understand it well, then you explain it to others. And if you don't understand, you may not discuss about that, because then if we are not convinced, we cannot convince others. Jayadatta Maharaj once was asked, Maharaj, how to preach nicely, how to convince others. And Maharaj said, first you get convinced. So if you want to convince others, first you need to get convinced. Otherwise, we are just saying to others and we ourselves are not convinced. We are saying, oh, you should not smoke cigarette. I'm still smoking cigarette. That won't work. So first we have to follow very nicely. And as Prabhupada said, Bhakti Rasamrita, purity is the force. We follow the principles nicely. And it can be very simple things. Radheshyam Prabhu says, Bhakti is not about becoming great. Bhakti is about becoming good. So we don't want to become great. If Krishna wants, we may become, but we want to become good, a good devotee. Prabhu says 5 a.m. we are devotee, 6 a.m. we are devotee, 9 a.m. we are devotee, 5 p.m. we are devotee, 9 p.m. we are devotee. So many of us start the day with a devotee and ends the day with, or in the middle of the day itself, we start becoming demons. It happens only with me, probably, not with you, but it happens. We start a devotee day. But during the day, we get lost in this material world with the passion and ignorance. He should have nothing to do with the material activities. So he may still be involved in the material activities, but he has nothing to do. Like he is not seeking any pleasure. He is fully convinced material world is a false shelter. Many examples on that you would have heard from sannyasis. You should have conquered all the six sense gratifying agents. Vacha Vekam, Mansa, Krodha Vekam, 6 agents. He should have fully conquered them. One who has conquered, as Rupa Goswami says, he can make disciples all over the world. So not the one who preaches something and it goes at the back and he does something else. Many so-called Babas, they get caught in this scandal, that scandal, and hundreds of thousands of their followers, they come and rally on the road. Oh, you cannot take my Guru. He is so good, but he gets caught and he spends rest of the life in jail. Everyone should try to find such bona fide spiritual master in order to fulfill his mission of life, which is to transfer himself to the plane of spiritual bliss. To accept such a spiritual master is a crucial point for advancement in spiritual life. Now, this is the qualification of the Guru. One more point Prabhupada says, one who is fortunate enough to come under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master is sure to traverse the path of spiritual salvation without any doubt. So we should consider ourselves so fortunate. Brahmand Brahmite Kauna Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Beach. So we are in one of those rare souls who have come to Prabhupada, and so many nice followers of Prabhupada Association. We have full opportunity to go back to Godhead in this lifetime. Now, this may happen or may not happen, depending on our sincerity. Now, Prabhupada also gives the disqualification of Guru. So it's not only the positives, it's also the negatives. And that will help us to judge who is a qualified Guru and who is not. So Prabhupada gave 5 points. I'll quickly read. Who is fool number 1? Prabhupada used to write some strong words sometimes, fools and rascals. But you should consider his mood is very soft actually. He's just like a grandfather is telling grandkids, Beta, don't do it. It's not good for you. And sometimes he may apparently be angry on them, but he's not. So he's saying fool number one, who has no direction according to scriptural injunctions. And many times they say, I am the guru myself. I have no guru. Among Leela Prabhu makes a lot of fun about those people. So a guru who doesn't have a guru cannot be a guru. I think Chaitanya Prabhu says, a guru, the one who has no guru, consider his mind as guru. Huh? Because whatever the mind says, he will follow that. Whose character is doubtful. You cannot have that person as your guru. Who does not follow the principles of devotional service. He tells about dhyan and this and that, Mayavadi, Marg and all that. But if he's not talking about the principle of devotional service, he cannot be a guru. Radha Govind Maharaj was saying, any sannyasis, talking about sannyasis, any sannyasis who does not chant the holy name of Lord or who does not inspire others to chant the holy name of the Lord are sure to go to hell. Radha Govind Maharaj is speaking. So you can take the garb of a sannyas, but if you're not a devotee, you're going straight to hell. Who has not conquered the influence of 6 sense-gratifying agents, he cannot be a guru. Prabhupada gives a very simple example. Suppose you are putting some savings in bank account. Every week, you put $100 in your bank account, thinking after 10 years, I'll have good amount of savings. But after 10 years, when you go to withdraw your money, you have 0 deposits there. Why? Because you've been depositing in someone else's account, in a wrong account. So can you withdraw the money? You can't. So Prabhupada says you can't withdraw. You're putting the savings in a wrong account. So similarly, if you perform a seva, a service to a non-bona fide guru, you actually have no spiritual credit. Because when you serve guru, a bona fide guru, you get spiritual credits for that. But if you serve a non-bona fide guru, and many lakhs and lakhs people are serving, Radhesham Prabhu says their life has not changed. They come and they do pranam to the guru. They may give some dakshina to the guru, but they go back and they watch cinema. They're still eating meat. They all have doing nonsense activities. So those sort of devotional service, and they are called, I'm also initiated in this sampradaya and that sampradaya. That sort of deposit is a 0 deposit. You don't get any spiritual bank balance. But if you serve any pure devotee of the Lord, even a smallest service, Lord becomes very, very pleased. So Prabhupada is saying you should deposit the money into the right account, not in the wrong account. Yes, Sanjay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, so Prabhuji, when sort of someone looks for a guru, they go through this qualifications of guru and disqualifications of guru, and then they sort of select one. Similarly, we also see in Hari Bhakti Vilas the qualities of a disciple. And when I read through the qualities of disciple, as you were touching upon it in the previous slide, I sort of agree, I don't have any one of those qualities. So when a Guru Maharaj accepts a disciple, what quality is he looking in that disciple before he accepts him? Because, I mean, the disciple could go astray in their lifetime, depart from the process, and still the spiritual master is taking over 50% or so of their sort of sins. So what is that one quality that a spiritual master considers in their prospective disciple when they take them on? Because, I mean, as you were touching upon it in the previous slide, like I don't have any one of those. Yeah.
So that one quality which Prabhupada was looking, and that's from Shastra as well, this disciple or this prospective disciple has some sincerity to become a good disciple, have some sincerity. He may still have a lot of flaws, he have some sincerity. So initial days, many hippies came to Prabhupada. They have no material qualification, no spiritual qualification, but they have some sincerity. They love Prabhupada. And they had faith in Prabhupada. They never heard name of Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They had faith in Prabhupada. And they followed what Prabhupada says. So Prabhupada, looking at their sincerity of following his instruction, which was to serve Krishna actually, gave them initiations. And we see many of them became such a great Vaishnavas. Some due to unfortunate situations, about some prad, Bhakti Tirth Maharaj said, if you commit an offense, even if you're a sannyasi, you'll fall down. So that's one aspect, and there can be many more. So many of them could not continue with their vows, but many of them became such a successful Vaishnava, and now they are leading another thousands of Vaishnavas. So that sincerity, that little sincerity which Prabhupada or a spiritual master look into that soul. My Guru Maharaj used to use this word, fanning the spark. So they see a little spark in that soul. There'll be 99.99% all the disqualifications, but that 0.01% qualification, this person's want to become. They just fan it, fan it, fan it, and then slowly the Agni fire becomes great, and that person becomes a guru himself. Keshav Maharaj says, Guru doesn't make disciples, Guru makes Guru. A good leader is the one who make leader, not followers. So Prabhupada was not into making followers, Prabhupada was making into leaders. And he made so many nice leaders. Is that okay? Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, Ujjwala Samataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
When one takes initiation, I have heard, so my understanding could be wrong, that I have heard that the sins that one has committed, they are all absorbed or they are all nullified when
Yeah.
one takes initiation. Is it like a completely clean slate, or one is still left over with some?
Yeah, it says 100%. 100%. So all your millions of lifetimes of sins and their reactions, Guru takes on your head, on his head. And he said that's why we should not commit more offenses or more sinful activities, because it goes on Guru. And that's why we see many, many spiritual masters, they are falling sick just because their disciples are performing sinful activities even after initiation. So Guru takes 100%. And Guru makes a vow, and my Guru Maharaj said in one of the initiation ceremonies, not an explicit vow, but an implicit vow while the initiation ceremony is happening. So disciple is taking explicit vows, which we all take. Guru take implicit vow that I take a vow to take this soul back to Godhead. So no matter how many lifetimes the soul is, as Sanjay Prabhu was saying, can go astray. Following 4 regs, 16 rounds is a big thing. Following Kadashi and so many other things. So following for the whole life is a big thing. But Guru takes that vow. Guru takes that charge. And that's why Guru take a risk. And we'll talk about this more in the later section, in the Nivritti section about this. That's why Guru is not supposed to have many disciples. Just because of name and fame, because many take. But as per Vedic culture, actually, all the sins come on his head. Can he handle? Can he handle? Now you are not able to handle your own sins. How are you going to handle the sins of all the disciples? Huh? So they may consider, oh, Guru Maharaj, oh, Prabhu, or you are the Jagat Janani, or you are Jagadish, or this and that. And many like to get glorified like that. We see in Abhay Charan movie, which Bhakti Charu Maharaj made, this Baba who used to, what do you call it? Falgu Baba. Falgu Bhagwan, sorry, Falgu Bhagwan. Huh? Everyone will glorify him as you're Bhagwan, Bhagwan, Bhagwan. Bhakti Thakur said, you're not Bhagwan, you're just a little jiva. He said, I know that, but I like when they glorify me like that. Huh? So if someone glorifying me, I really like it, but there's consequences of that. Can I handle that? So it's a very, very subtle things, but it has so much impact. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mother. Now, different roles of Guru, just quick highlights here. He is a direct representative of Krishna. Now, here you can also say the qualification of the Guru, there are 10 here. He's Sakshad Haritvena Samasta Shastri. So all the Shastra consider him as good as Hari. He's not Hari, he's servant of Hari. He should be respected as good as Hari. So if you offer best things to Hari, you should offer best things to your spiritual master. You can offer even more. Krishna will like it, huh? Not less. With purity of your heart and purity of your actions. External manifestation of the soul. So it says your Chaitya Guru, inside super soul, becomes the external Guru. So when a soul desires to progress in this mark, in this path, the super soul watching you all the time. It's a 24-hour TV camera. So when super soul sees this soul desire to go back to Godhead, he manifests outside a suitable spiritual master. Now, all the spiritual master in one sense are same because they're all taking you back to Godhead. But every spiritual master can also have a different mood. So based on the mood of the jiva, Krishna helps him to meet with the spiritual master. He says Krishna helps a jiva meet with spiritual master, and spiritual master helps a jiva to meet with Krishna. So Guru Krishna ko milate hai, Krishna Guru ko milate hai. So it's a very beautiful cycle. Formal connection with the parampara. So Guru establishes your formal connection with the parampara. It's not journey starts from him. It's a bogus guru. If someone is saying I've started this whole sampradaya on my own, he's a bogus guru, has to be rejected. He gives you the mantra. Now, mantra is not to how to progress in spiritual life, mantra how to progress in spiritual life. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given mantra by Ishwarpuri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became mad by chanting Hare Krishna, and he came back to Ishwarpuri. He said, what mantra you have given? By chanting this mantra, I've become mad. And Ishwarpuri says, that's what is supposed to happen. You should become mad. Now, how many of us have received the mantra, have become mad? Okay, some of you may be mad for Krishna. I haven't even started that journey, looks like sometime. So someone was saying, counting is easy, chanting is difficult. So many times we are just counting the names, we're not chanting the mantra. Mantra is supposed to be manaha trayate iti mantra. So one who delivers the mind. How many of us have been delivered from their mind? Not sure. Question to be asked. Question to be asked. We are chanting again and again every day, which is nice. Definitely nice. We'll have some benefits, but Manah Traite iti mantra. Bhagavatamrit, we read Gopakumara, when he chanted the mantra, he got uplifted. Chitraketu Maharaj, when he chanted the mantra, 7 days he had darshan of Narad Muni. That is called mantra. Sincere Guru, sincere disciple. Here we see Guru is sincere. Shastra is sincere. Prabhupada is sincerely presenting so many things. Maybe we are not so sincere. So he gives the mantra. Mantra has to work. It cannot not work. Because Golokere Premadhana, Hari Nama Sankirtan. Mantra has come from Goloka. It has to work. If it's not working for you and me, that means the problem is in mantra. Problem is in Guru, right? That's what we think. Problem is not in mantra, problem is not in Guru, problem is not in Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Problem is here. Problem is here. We don't have faith in mantra, and that's why before we start chanting, all of us, including me, should read some glories of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What's the glory that can help us? We should listen more about the glories of the holy name. That will help us to focus our mind. Anyway, each line here is a whole class, so I'm just trying to run fast. He says, spiritual father Prabhupada always said, my dear spiritual sons and daughters. So he is your well-wisher. He said, Guru, in one sense, Rupa Goswami says, should have 3 qualities. Or a friend also can have 3 qualities, but in Siksha Mark, we can say. So he should be Sajatiya, he should be Snigdha, and he should be Ashraya. Sajati means like-mindedness should be there. Snigdha, compassionate, he should know you. And third, he should be able to give you shelter. Shelter from Shastra. So once he is guiding you, he should be able to guide you as per Shastra. Shastra says this. This is why we should also take this decision. So this is as per Shastra. He is your spiritual father. He is ever well-wisher. Prabhupada, many cases, I'll just say quickly one. One of Prabhupada disciples used to be hippie. He became a disciple. Prabhupada gave him some services. He became some GBC or something. Anyway, he had difficulties in his spiritual life. He started taking drugs again and all those things. Anyway, the thing came to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj made a call to this disciple, and Prabhupada was quite upset on the phone. How can you do that? If you don't stop it, I'll reject you. After the phone call, Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, will you really reject it? And Prabhupada started crying. He said, how can I reject him? Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is unlimited. He cannot reject anyone. I cannot reject anyone. So Prabhupada is crying for his son or daughter who has apparently gone away from Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada externally just saying, no, I'll reject you. But Prabhupada said, I can't reject. I can't reject. Nityananda Prabhu, he never rejects anyone. So he is always your well-wisher. That's why you should not hesitate to go in front of your spiritual master and say openly, I have these issues. It says you should not hide from your spiritual master and from a Vaidya, from a doctor. If you hide, the rogue is increasing in your body, isn't it? If you have a disease, you hide to your doctor. How will he cure you? Hmm? So he's always your well-wisher. You should have faith in your spiritual master. And again, it can be Diksha Guru or Siksha Guru if they are well qualified. Siksha Guru, I mean. And they also act in the same spirit. He's always our best friend. Huh? Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. This quality is not only in Krishna, also in his pure devotees. His absolute authority. You cannot do Guru Avagya. We'll talk about Guru Avagya in a minute in next chapter. But whenever he says something, you cannot do Avagya. Keshav Maharaj gives this beautiful line many times. He said, Guru's instructions can be delayed but cannot be denied. Delay, okay. We all have different situations in our life, but you still honor them by meditating on them. I'm not able to do, I'm not able to do, I'm not able to do. Please give me strength so that I can do it. Prabhupada prepared his whole life, 44 years of preparation from 1921 to 1965. And then he embarked on that journey, formally speaking. But he was honoring the instruction from day one. But it wasn't manifested in the outside world. He's the only way to attain Krishna. Yasha prasada bhagavad prasada. Yasha aprasada nagati kutopi. If you do not receive the blessings of your Guru Maharaj, then nagati kutopi. You have no gati. You have no destination. So, sorry to say, this is the only way. And it's not a forceful way. It's not a forceful way. It's a very sweet way. Like a child loves his father or mother, and father loves the child. So it's a sweet way. And when father tells the child, do not touch the Agni, it's in the benefit of child. So you may feel like it's a force. Oh, my father is denying me to have this pleasure. This fire is looking so nice, and child want to put the hand. Father will drag him back. And sometimes father may have to be very strict. No, you cannot touch it. And child may feel, meh, meh. My father is my enemy. No, he's your best friend. Yasha Prasada, Bhagavat Prasada. He is the captain of the boat of transcendental knowledge. It's a famous verse in Bhagavatam 11th canto. So if you take his order as it is, try to fulfill the orders of your spiritual master in the best of your capacity, you will surely reach back to the lotus feet of the Lord very, very easily. So there are some points. These are the roles which Guru plays in the life. Second, Sri Krishna Diksha, Sikshadi. So not only you take shelter, you take a formal shelter as well. So you take Diksha as well. Huh? Sometimes some people say, yes, I will take Padashrayas of Narad Muni, of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami is my Guru. Narad Muni is my Guru. Vyasadev is my Guru. No, you have to have a living spiritual master. And that's why Ritvik philosophy in this phase is not very strong at all. Huh? So many acharyas have said many things, but people still follow. Some people. And I get surprised sometimes. They're very intellectuals, they still follow Ritik philosophy. You have to have a living spiritual master, a living, whom you can see, whom you can serve, whom you can talk, whom you can take guidance from. It cannot be. Now, Narad Muni is ever present, yes. Unless you have met Narad Muni accepted you as a disciple, you can't consider. You can take teachings of Narad Muni, definitely we take. Whole Bhagavatam, every canto is filled with Narad Muni's instruction. But we have to have a living spiritual master. That's why the second point is given, Diksha and Siksha Adi. So all these instructions. Accepting Guru as a representative of the Lord in the Super Soul. Learn Srimad Bhagavatam with respect and veneration from Guru. So it's not just you go to the Guru, bow down, give him $100 and come back. No, you have to learn Pariprashnena Sevaya. So Pariprashna is very important. Learn Srimad Bhagavatam. Disciples' attitude is to please the Guru. Then everything becomes revealed easily. Yes, Mohit Prabhu or Mataji?
Prabhu, in this scenario, when you said Ritvik was accepting Prabhupada as a guru even when he left, does they qualify as a qualified disciple? Or
No, because they're not following the basics. They're not, unfortunately. So they are definitely serving Krishna in some way or other, and Krishna will surely arrange. But at this point in time, they are not qualified disciples. The very
and you
first
mentioned
thing.
previous point, they are putting saving in a wrong account. Remember the previous point you mentioned. So
Yes,
does it valid
but
here,
this is a
even though
is
they're following
is a
the
little different case, Prabhuji. They're still following four victory principles. They're chanting Hare Krishna, and they are under Prabhupada, but they are not following the first principle of surrendering to a living spiritual master. So their journey is delayed. But definitely, they are in a better boat than the serving a wrong spiritual master. Yeah.
okay.
But
Thank
the
you.
basic root, or the basic foundation of their spiritual life is not strong. Now, we accept there have been some problems with GBC, with the ISKCON gurus. We accept that. At the same time, there are many, many qualified Prabhupada disciples also around, or their followers. So we cannot, if three people made mistake, we cannot reject the whole organization. Hmm. If in Indian army or in any country's army, three people are Gaddar, you cannot reject the whole army. Whole army is Gaddar, they're all false people. They all lie. You can't say that. And there are Gaddars throughout the history, you will see. So there will be some people, there will be some mantras somewhere. There will be some here and there, some Duryodhan, some Shaknis, there always be there. But you cannot say the whole organization is bad just because these two or three people made some mistakes. I'm sure in their organization also people making mistake. They don't come out. So they need reasons. So anyway, the bottom line is you have to have a living spiritual master. You cannot say, no, Narottam Das Thakur is my guru. Rupa Goswami is my guru. They are eternal associates of Lord. Yes, they are there. They are living, but have you met with them? Have they accepted you? So like that. Is that okay? Okay. Sundar Gopal, Prabhu or Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, what after the spiritual master leaves?
Yeah.
You surrender.
Yeah. It's a big topic, but one line which Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, spiritual master actually never leaves. He lives in his instruction. So a person who says Vaishnava is dead is not a very intelligent person. Vaishnavas always leave. Prabhupada was once asked, Prabhupada, what if when you leave? And Prabhupada gave many answers. And Prabhupada, many times he himself says, I'm going to leave soon. But in this particular occasion, Prabhupada said, I will never die. He said, I will be living through my books. The body will die. Prabhupada said that from day one. My body will. I'm an old man, I'll die. But he said in this occasion, I will never die. I will live in the form of my books. So if you read my books, you will never feel separation from me. So if spiritual master leaves this material planet, he's still there. Prabhupada said, I never felt separated from my spiritual master. So now Prabhupada had, as we know, very few meetings with the spiritual master. Spiritual master left in, if I'm not wrong, 1936 or 37. And that's where Prabhupada was still a grahastha. He was still, in the family matters, in business matters. He was going here and there, trying to do many, many things. His spiritual master left. But even when he physically left his body, Prabhupada writes later, I have never felt separation from my spiritual master, ever. Many instances are there of that as well. So, for a qualified disciple, the spiritual master is never out of the vision, is always in the presence of a spiritual master. Amrita Prabhu was saying one day, when he chant Hare Krishna 16 rounds, for example, he said, you should at least chant 4 rounds as if your spiritual master is next to you. You're sitting on a chair, you're sitting on your lotus feet, you should chant at least 4. You can chant all 16, but at least 4 rounds like that. So if imagine your Guru Maharaj is there, Kadam Paran Maharaj sitting in that chair in which you are sitting right now. You're sitting next to him. How attentive you will be. Guru is listening, you're chanting. So anyway, he was just glorifying. So and then he said, Guru is always listening actually. How many times we realize that's our problem. Guru is watching you. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes,
So
Prabhu. Thank you.
here's the instructions, and many times we may want some guidance from the Guru who's physically left the body. You will have some followers who live his instructions. So you can go to them. I had some doubt, to be honest. Not a doubt, a question, which I was convinced with the answer, to be honest, what my Guru Maharaj will answer. And I confirmed that by Gopinath's arrangement. Jadvat Maharaj was here, Keshav Maharaj was here. And I had my own understanding of what my spiritual master will say in that situation. I was fully convinced. I confirmed with Keshav Maharaj, I confirmed Jayadvat Maharaj. All three were same. And Jayadvat Maharaj was smiling. He said, anyone You press anywhere, three of them in this case, they will respond same. I was so happy actually. I was so happy. All three are saying the same thing. So we should understand the mood. So I didn't ask particularly a question, but I asked the principal. All three are same. All three are same. So that sort of brings more confidence in your own activities, in your faith. Yes, I'm doing the right thing. And many times it's other way as well. When you're doubtful about something, you think about it. What my spiritual master will say, okay, I cannot approach him physically speaking, so can I approach his guru or his disciple who's purely living the principles given by Guru Maharaj? So you'll get the answer. You'll get the answer. Papa said many times, devotees, Krishna will arrange answers for you. Krishna will arrange answers for you if you're really sincere. Okay?
Thank you.
There's a famous verse, 11.322. Again, Prabhupada is speaking. I'll not read the whole thing. Just few lines of the verse, very nice. My dear king, a disciple has to accept the spiritual master, not only as spiritual master, but also as the representative of the spiritual supreme personality of Godhead and the super soul. In other words, the disciple should accept the spiritual master as God, because he is the external manifestation of Krishna. This is confirmed in every scripture, and disciple should accept the spiritual master as such. One should learn Srimad Bhagavatam seriously and with all respect and veneration from the spiritual master. Hearing and speaking, Bhagavatam is a religious process which elevates one to the platform of serving and loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Third, Priti Purvak Guru Seva. We've done some parallels with Bhagavad Gita. It's the same thing. So third one is Sevaya. Pranipatena, Pariprashtena, Sevya. So the same thing here we are learning. So Priti Purvak. Now how should you perform Seva? Priti Purvak. Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham satat yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. So we have to do our bhajan with priti. If there's no priti, then bhajan becomes very materialistic. So Guru Seva also should be done with priti. You love to serve your spiritual master. No, he has come here. Now I have to serve him. I have to go offer him some pranam, offer him some dakshina, cook for him, drive him. You should be enthusiastic, eager, because by serving him, each serving Krishna, Lord Krishna likes his pure soul service more than his own service. If you serve Krishna, he may like, he may not like, but if you serve his pure devotee, Krishna really likes it. So you're advancing very fast if you happen to get Vapu Seva of your Guru Maharaj. Serving Shri Guru with love, faith, and confidence. Here, love does not mean just your worldly love, so lip service. No, faith and confidence. This is a pure representative of Krishna. By serving him, I'm advancing. By serving him, I'm pleasing Krishna. By serving him, I'm getting purified. That is called faith and confidence. Lord Krishna says, Guru is my very self. Acharyam mam vijaniyam. Same conversation with Uddhava. Krishna speaking. Acharya mam vijaniyam. Consider Guru as me. Krishna is speaking this to Uddhava. So Guru is not to be considered any less than. He is me himself. Na avamanyet. Na avamanyet. Avamanana means avhelna. Avagya. Na avamanyet karachit. Not even a small thing you should do avhelna of your Guru. Not even a small. Na martya buddhi asuyeta. Martya buddhi means he is one of them. He is eating, he is sleeping, he is getting sick, he is taking bath. Na martya buddhi. He is not a martya jiva like you and me. He is not a conditioned jiva. Asuyeta. So you should not have any envy towards your Guru. My Guru is getting so much service. I'm also very vidwan. I'm not getting any service. That is called suya. So you should be asuya. Atri Rishi's wife known as Anusuya, one who has no envy. Krishna also says to Arjuna, because you are Asuya, I'm giving this knowledge to you. So we can only understand these things if we have envy in our heart that I should be respected. I should get seva from all these people because I'm very senior. This and that. That won't work. The last line Krishna says, Sarva Deva Mayo Guru. Sarva Deva Mayo Guru. The spiritual master must be accepted not only as my representative, but as my very self. He must never be considered on the same level with an ordinary human being. One should never be envious of the spiritual master. The spiritual master should always be seen as the representative of the Lord. By serving the spiritual master, one is able to serve all the demigods. There's a verse in said, Tumeva Mata Chapta Tumeva, Tumeva Bandhu. What's the next one? Tumeva Bandhu, Dravidam Tumeva, Tumeva,
Meva
त्वमेव
Vidya.
बन्धु च
Tumeva
सखा
Vidya,
त्वमेव
Atul.
द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं वन्दे
Tumeva Sarvam
Vamadeva.
Vandeva. Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji. I used to recite it every day 30, 40 years ago. Anyway, so Guru is like that. Number 4. So we are talking the pravrittis. Sadhu Marg Anusaran. So very simple, you can understand. Whichever marg sadhus have taken, we have to take the same marg, same path. We cannot open our own marga. You can see following the footsteps of saintly persons. We have spoken about in NOI as well. Will not speak too much. This is a very beautiful verse. Rupa Goswami gives, and many times you listen in the classes from some sannyasis. This is to understand us, not to judge others. 1:201. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhin Vina. So if you are doing something which is not recommended in Shruti, Smriti or Puran Adi, you're doing your own thing. Pancharatra Vidhin Vina. Ekantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpatyaiva Kalpate. Ekantiki Harer Bhaktir. So you're doing ekantik bhakti. Mera marg hai. What you are doing actually, utpatya, utpat. In Hindi, there's a word utpat, upadrav. You are actually just a disturbance to the Vaishnava society. Just a disturbance. So many times we don't agree with many people, and our Sangha people is not good, my Siksha Guru is not good, temple president is not good, this is not good, that is not good. I will show everyone who I am. So you are just a upadrav to the Vaishnava community. You're not an authority. So if you don't understand, that's fine. At least you should not become a upadravi. Don't disturb the Vaishnava community. Many times you would have seen some emails come and they will CC 3,000 people in that and they will pour all their heart in that. This is upadrav actually. You're disturbing others. You have to approach to the right person in the right mood, and if that's not possible, just wait. Just wait. Krishna is there to listen to you. If you are sincere, Krishna will arrange in due course of time. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow. Krishna will arrange if you are correct. If not, authority is there for a reason. We should follow. And if you cannot follow, as I said, at least do not disturb them. Follow your bhajans, pray to Krishna. Krishna will guide you. Some answers will come in due course of time. We should be patient. Shabri was so patient. So make sure we do not become upadrav in the Vaishnav community, which many times, knowingly or unknowingly, we become. Prabhupada said many times, what a Vaishnava does is none of your business. You mind your own business. Prabhupada said that. So we mind our own business. Somehow Radha Gopinath is arranging in a way which I don't understand. That's all right. I'm not intelligent anyway. So step back, wait, take guidance. If you don't understand, wait for Krishna's guidance. The path followed by the sadhus is given in the scriptures, so we don't follow the scriptures. If we don't follow the scriptures, we are not really following the path delineated for the sadhus. And if you don't follow the scriptures or follow the path of the sadhus, then you can't really advance, but we just create a disturbance in Vaishnava society. So yeah, we should try to make sure we don't become the disturbance for others. In Hindi, there is a song, Bhala kisi ka kar na sako to Bura kisi ka na karna. So if you cannot do good, at least don't do bad. Even bad mouthing, many times we do bad mouthing to others. We're not entitled for that. You can approach your spiritual master and express your heart. That is called Guhyam Akhyati Prakshati. Guru Maharaj, this is what has happened. I need some guidance. I don't understand. That's fine. Your mood is not to badmouth that person. Your mood is to understand and take further steps in your life because you may be stuck. That's all right. But approach a proper authority. It says Ninda should be done in private, praise should be done in public. And many times we do it other way. Ninda we do it in public, praise we do in private. हाँ ठीक है, अच्छा बनाया था. To praise. we should do in public. Again, with a good mood, not in a buttering mood. Buttering is also a form of ego. Prabhupada was saying, buttering is praise. You're inspired by someone's service, you should praise. Prabhuji, very nice seva. You're really inspiring. Mataji, you've done very nice seva. From your heart. In public, it openly means with open heart, you become really pleased with the Vaishnava seva and you bless or seek blessings from that Vaishnava. And Ninda, if you are angry, you should not, but that is in private, one to one. You can pour all the heart with that person, but not in public. So as soon as you listen some or you see some emails or websites, you will see hundreds of Nindas about some sadhus, just close them off. Just for your information, there is a extension in Google Chrome, which I have also installed, which stops you to going even those websites which have Ninda of Vaishnavas. I don't remember the name, but yeah, I have that installed. Very nice. So sometimes I've clicked some Google searches. So it tells me this is not a very good website. So it tells me. I can still open, but it asks me, it gives me a prompt. So it's very nice. So many times, even if I clicked on the Google, then I don't go, because that sites may have some Vaishnav Ninda. Yes, Mohit Prabhu.
Bro, just want to check this point second, but I think I must have missed it. You said second point, religionists who neglect the revealed scripture or disturbance on the devotional path. I understand the point, but example, you mentioned devotional service to Lord Buddha. I didn't get that example. Like, what do you mean?
Okay, example, devotion to Lord Buddha. Yes, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. I forgot to mention that. Thank you, Mohit Prabhu. So yeah, so Lord Buddha, although is Lord Buddha is a quite mysterious character. And in many lectures, you listen many things, but I'll just be very simple here without going to complexities of Lord Buddha. So Lord Buddha, when he came, what did he preach? Reject the Vedas. Now, when someone, including Lord, says reject the Vedas, it says in the Vedas, anyone who says reject the Vedas, reject him. Even if the Lord comes and says reject my Vedas, we reject the Lord. And Buddha is that example. And there's a purpose behind it. I will not go in the whole history today. So when Buddha came and he said reject the Vedas, and there was reasoning behind it. Why did he say that? Because animal killing was happening a lot. People were taking the shelter of Vedic logics to kill animals, and the thousands of animals were getting killed. So when Buddha came for this purpose to stop animal killing, Jayadev Goswami writes in this Dashavatara Sutra. So Buddha came for a purpose and he said, because you are misusing the Vedas, reject the Vedas. That was the immediate solution. But long-term solution, obviously, we know. Then Shankaracharya came, then Ramanujacharya came, all those series exist. So when Buddha says, reject the Vedas, we reject Buddha. So anyone doing devotional service to Lord Buddha will be going the wrong account, basically, because they're not following the proper revealed scriptures. And even Buddha did not wanted to reject the scripture. This was just an immediate need. Two persons are fighting. The first thing will say, stop the fight, drop your guns, drop the knife. First thing you will say. And then resolution can be done later. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So this is a nice one. Number 5. Bhajan Riti Niti Prashna. Sadharma Praksha. This is Sanskrit words here. Inquiring, asking serious questions is devotional service. So again, repeating the same thing when a spiritual master comes or he gives a class or something. Amrendra Prabhu says very nice thing. I really like it. When he was a kid, his parents will tell him to sit in the class. Every Sunday they'll go to temple. This is what Amrendra Prabhu says. And he has to sit in the class. And the condition their parents have put for Amrendra Prabhu when he was a kid, you must ask one question. So whoever is speaking, you must ask one question. And that was very nice. Their parents were so intelligent. Because if you are asking question, you have to listen the class. So he will listen the class and he will ask the questions, and parents have put a prize for him, some drink or something which he loved, Towards the end of the day, they will provide him a drink, that drink. But he followed that many years. And who Amrinda Prabhu is today. So listening, asking questions, asking right questions, very important. 6. Bhogadi Tyaga Krishna's Hetave. Being prepared to give up everything material for Krishna's satisfaction. Anya Vilashta Shunya. So it's a very high thing, but again, we should start Ekadashi, Kartik Mas, Purushottam Mas. We do that. We try to do some tyag, and that we can do Some devotees have, unless they have chanted n number of rounds, they will not accept, any breakfast in the morning, which is very nice. Depending on your bodily needs, you can define some tyaga. Tirthavasha, Tirtha Mahatmya Shravana cha, Nivasa Dwarkada cha Ganga de Apisannidho. Residing in a sacred place, that is Tirthavasa. And the second word is Mahatmya Shravanam. You should hear the glories of Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, Badrikashram. Huh? This increases your faith. And same applies for Shastra. When you do that, your devotion is increasing. Accepting only what's necessary. This is very important one. A difficult one. But Prabhupada said, when you come in Krishna consciousness, you should eat till here, huh? Till neck full, basically. Huh? But after 6 months, you should only eat that much which is needed for your body and soul to keep together. So I think I'm still under 6 months. I still eat till here. But that was Prabhupada's point. You eat prasadam, no problem. But later on, you should reduce. And that applies on other things as well. In Naradiya Purana, it is described, one should not accept more than necessary if he is serious about discharging devotional service. And when you serve your spiritual master, you will see how strict they are. Radhanath Maharaj. You talk about his diet, you talk about where he sleeps and how he sleeps and the room he lives in the middle of the city of Bombay. You will not understand how a person is living in that way. Huh? But he lives because he's serious. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Sorry, Janananda Maharaj was telling an instance with Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. They met in some city somewhere, and Janananda Maharaj was the guest, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was the host. So in the night, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj asked Janananda Maharaj, so would you like some milk, Maharaj? And Janananda Maharaj said, sure. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, how much? And Janananda Maharaj was like, just some milk. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, no, how much? Like he want to quantify everything, 100 ml, 150 ml, 200 ml. This how strict he was. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, you talk about his strictness. Huh? Grahasthas will hesitate to invite Maharaj in their house because Maharaj will go deep inside their house and he will even look how you are sleeping, how's your bed. Like, are you really making some progress or are you just comfortable in your spiritual life in 16 rounds? Huh? He was so strict. Many Maharaj or many other devotees are so strict. The purport is that one should not neglect following the principles of devotion service, nor should one accept the rulings of devotion service which are more than what he can easily perform. Again, you should not go both ways. Huh? If you cannot handle, Burijan Prabhu said in a class, he said, if you cannot live in a small quantity of meal, eat as much as you want. Huh? Take as much sleep as which is required for your body. But then when you get up, you should be very enthusiastic in devotion service. Huh? Instead of 6, you need 7 hours, take 7 hours. But after 7 hours, once you have slept, you should just go on with 200% energy to serve Krishna. Huh? Then there should not be any laziness. So you're utilizing every single minute of your day to serve Krishna in some way or other. Someone can read this. Anyone? Anyone? Sanjay Prabhu?
From in the Naradiya Purana, Prabhu?
Next one, Prabhuji.
In the Naradiya Purana, it is
next
direct.
One, Prabhu. Next one. For example?
For example, it may be said that one should chant the Hare Krishna mantra at least 100,000 times daily on his beats. But if
now,
this
if
is
you
not,
know, this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally said, he said, if someone is not a Lakhpati, I'll not accept even a drop of water from that person. You understand Lakhpati? What is Lakhpati, Mohit Prabhu? He's a banker. He has millions of dollars. Is that what's called Lakhpati?
Chanting 1 lakh names of
Chanting. So Lakhpati is not material money here we are talking. 100,000 names of Krishna. If you do not chant, as per Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are a patit. You are a patit. So any non-patits here? I am a patit. 16 rounds somehow. But Prabhupada brought it down basically. Huh? And Krishna will not reject Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada is a pure devotee. So Prabhupada said, I know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, your standard is 60, but my kids are very small, very fragile. Please, 16 rounds. No? So then Krishna cannot say no to Prabhupada. No? So through the mercy of Prabhupada, we are able to do that. Otherwise, Krishna said, Bhag jao, get out. You're not a Lakpati, don't show your face, you're a Patit. No? That's the verse Krishna Kaviraj Goswami writes. Yes, Sanjay Prabhuji.
But if this is not possible, then one must minimize his chanting according to his own capacity.
Now, this is the Prabhupada writing, so don't you start taking your own statement. So, Prabhu, my capacity is only 2 rounds a day. This is Prabhupada writing, and please keep reading. Yes, Prabhu.
Generally, we recommend our disciples to chant at least 16 rounds on their japa beads daily, and they should be completed. But if one is not even able to chant 16 rounds, then he must make it up the next day. He must be sure to keep his vow.
Now, next day, I'm sure everyone knows, but I'll just repeat here. Should be only in emergency, and if you are not able to chant, say, 2 rounds today, the next day it becomes double. So if you have only chanted, for example, 14 rounds today, next day you should be chanting 20 rounds. And if you can't make up the next day, then it becomes 8 rounds and then 16. So if you follow this, I'm sure you will be able to finish your rounds. The first thing is you should never, ever, ever leave your rounds. You're just not going to go to sleep. Simple as that. I'll be honest, in the beginning days, I have chanted rounds till 1:30 a.m. in the morning. 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m. So, but then, you realize after a year, it's not going anywhere. So I better chant on the day itself. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult the next day. So no next day, only in emergencies if something has really happened. Otherwise, no. And then do it double, do it double. Every day it doubles up. Yes, Vijay Gopi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Just a question about this jaba beads and the clicker. I just wanted to, because like few of the devotees even chant with the clicker,
Yes.
but here Prabhupada clearly mentions it's in jaba
Yes.
beads. But
So the clear instruction is japa beads. Sankarshan Maharaj said, Prabhupada disciple, very senior person, he said, Prabhupada never gave clickers in the initiation ceremony. He gave japa beads. Huh? Now, again, there's a whole seminar here, but japa beads gives you the real connection. Now, if there's some problem in your hand, your hand is broken or something like that, there may be a very specific situation for a specific time where you may have to use the clicker. Okay. But if you're an initiated devotee, no way. Clickers are not a way. These are just modern techniques. You're just watering it down, actually. So all the sannyasis have one mata, one mata. Yeah, if someone is new, for him, anything is fine. Even clickers or chanting by mouth, counting in hand, anything is fine. That's fine. But if you're an initiated devotee, your committed devotee has to be in the beats. And from day one, if you put that habit, there's no way you will not like. I'll be very honest. In the beginning days, I was chanting in japa beats, but I looked at some people around me who were chanting in clicker. So one day I got inspired to chant on the clicker. Very honestly saying that. So I tried one day chanting on the clicker. I hated it. I think that was the only day in my life. I've chanted in my hand, I'll be honest. Because sometimes you may not have beats and all that. Anyway, I hated that clicker thing. And sometimes I'll click, sometimes I'll not click. I came home, I put it down. I said, not for me. It won't work actually. You'll not like it. And japa beats also have a benefit that you are touching the lotus feet of the gopis. And again, it's personal. It's personal. It's not mechanical. So I strongly follow the advices given by my teachers. It has to be japa beats, not a clicker. Unless you're a new person, you're just starting your journey. Yeah, from day one, give the japa beat to that person. Otherwise, once you get into this clicker mode, it's hard to come out. Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. But at the same time, just one thing I wanted to add is Radha Govind Maharaj added, if someone is just not chanting at all, then any chanting is fine. If someone is not chanting, and japa is whatever, for whatever, japa beats are impossible. Any chanting, mouth chanting, hand chanting, clicker chanting, that's a different situation. Yes, Ujjwala Samataji.
Prabhu, is it like when, as you said, in emergency, we can carry over 1 or 2 rounds, but then sometimes you fall sick and you're so very weak, absolutely unable to sit up even. So is it okay to lie and chant?
Absolutely, absolutely fine. Yeah, I've done it. I've lied and chanted, but yeah, Mataji, it's Krishna will arrange. I've experienced that. Krishna will arrange. Never carry over your rounds to the next day. And yeah, lying down chanting is fine. Your body is just so weak. But yeah, it's very temporary. It may happen just half a day or something. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's fine. Okay. Next paragraph, someone else can read. Prema Mataji, would you like to read? That's the next one.
At first, some of the boys thought that they would also have to chant 64 rounds, and they became perplexed. That would take all day. How could you go to a job if you had to chant 64 rounds? How could anyone chant 64 rounds? Then someone said Swamiji had told him that 32 rounds a day would be sufficient minimum for the West. Wali said he had heard Swamiji say 25, but even that seemed impossible. Then Prabhupada offered the rock bottom minimum 16 rounds a day without fail. Whoever got initiated would have to promise. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita.
Okay, so 16, rock bottom, nothing below. Okay, let's move forward. And this is by Purijan Prabhu, if I'm not wrong. While chanting, we think, when are these rounds going to be finished? The reality is, never. It will go on forever. Once Prabhupada was asked, why do you chant? And the answer Prabhupada gave is to chant more. Now, obviously, we don't have taste, but pure devotees experience that taste. Ekadashi, number 9. We must follow Ekadashi. Harivasar Sammano. Samman word is very beautiful. It's just not following, respectfully following. If someone comes to your house which you love, whom you love, you become happy and then you're trying to serve that person. So Ekadashi. Few points here. Real purpose to increase our faith and love in Govinda, not to just show off. I'm chanting 64 rounds on Ekadashi. I do this on Ekadashi. No, it's not a show off. Bhakti Dhir Damodar Maharaj, he said, we should never share our bhajan with others. So whatever bhajan you are doing, sometimes just to inspire others, you may share in some occasions, but generally you should not share your bhajan with others, because if you share your bhajan with others, it becomes reduced. So make sure whatever you do extra for the pleasure of the Lord, it remains like that for the pleasure of the Lord. When it's private, it increases. An example given, when a chandan is kept in a tight box, it increases the smell. But if you leave it open air, it just goes off. So anytime, not only on Ekadashi. In Brahma Vaivarth Purana, it said, one who observes fasting on Ekadashi is freed from all kinds of reaction to sinful activities and advances in pious life. The basic principle is not just to fast, but to increase one's faith. The real reason is to minimize the demands of the body and to engage our time in the service of the Lord. Very important, as much as possible, we should minimize the bodily demands, kitchen demands on that day. Usually what happens, a day before Ekadashi, we eat a lot. Kal Ekadashi hai, aaj kha lo. On the day of Ekadashi, we eat a lot. Aaj Ekadashi, what can I do? Quinoa, buckwheat, this halwa, that halwa, we eat a lot. And on Dwadashi, we eat a lot. Kal Ekadashi thi na. Yesterday was Ekadashi, so eat a lot. So actually, we eat 3 days a lot. Pre-Ekadashi, on Ekadashi, and post-Ekadashi. It should be exactly opposite. Huh? So again, whatever is possible for individuals, everyone has different bodies. Whatever is possible, try to minimize. Prabhupada recommended, again, if possible for you, half-day fasting at least. So till 12 o'clock, which many of you already do. So till 12 o'clock, Prabhupada appreciated. Not that if your medical condition doesn't allow you, it's fine. But if you could, fast till 12 o'clock, Nirjala. After 12, you break with Ekadashi, whatever you like. Best thing to do is remember the pastimes of Govinda. Hear the holy name constantly. 10th one, Ashwatha Tulsi Dhatri Go Brahmana Vaishnava Sammanam. So all these things which we already do. Now the 10 Angas which we should not do. We'll discuss 8 in this chapter. 19th and 20th we'll discuss in different chapters. This is very, very, very important. Asadu Sanmatyagaha. We read in NOI as well, verse 2 and 3. They talk about giving up the association with non-devotees. So, Rupa Goswami, again, number one instruction he's giving in Nivritti is Asadu Sangatyag. Who is a sadhu? Prabhupada defines a person who has illicit connection with women or associates with men illicitly connected. Huh? So it doesn't have to be a woman or man. So you should understand the Shastric language. It's not the woman or men we are condemning. It's just the wrong association we are condemning. Materialistic men, if you're hanging around with people who's always talking about money, 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 you'll also start thinking about money. Persons who are against the supremacy, atheistic people, huh? They may challenge your views and you may also get impacted. They're all called asadhu. Asat Sanga Tyag, a Vaishnavachar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sarup Damodar, which eventually said to Raghunath Das Goswami. So Asat Sanga Tyag, a Vaishnavachar. So for the four most important things, our Sangha has to be very beautiful. Avoiding bad association, it is better to accept the miseries of being encaged within bars and surrounded by burning flames than to associate with such those bereft of Krishna consciousness. Such association is very great hardship. This is CC Madhya 2291. Anyone can explain me why such a hard words are used here? Nam Avatar Prabhu. It's a very strong statement. He said, I will accept a burning fire within a cage rather than to associate with a Vaishnava.
So, I think it sort of motivates you or gives you a rationale that if you like, as you said, associate with those people who are very materialistic, always after money, automatically your consciousness will run towards it. So if you don't do that, what option you have is not to go with such association. So even if that happens, and even if you are not wealthy and it doesn't like the words here, burning flames, it is still better as long as you are within Krishna consciousness and as long as you are within the devotee association.
See, Prabhu is very soft. The actual answer is, if you are surrounded by the burning... Sanjay Vyasprabhu, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I was just going to have another go at answering that.
Yes.
I was just going to say, is it Prabhu because the punishment for the sins that you might commit in association of non-devotees is probably worse than that?
Not really. What our acharyas explain, a very simple line, which I really like it. Again, hard to follow, but really nice principle. He said, if you're surrounded by burning flames or by, ferocious animals around you in a cage, they will eat up your body. But if you associate with a Vaishnava, they will eat up your soul. Your Krishna consciousness will go, right? If you lose one body, you'll get another body. Simple as that, right? You'll sure get another body. But if you lose your Krishna consciousness, Mayavadi Bhasha Sunbe Hoile Sarvanash. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said we should not even hear Mayavadi Bhasha. What to speak of reading and commenting and associating with those people, not even hear. So the point which Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is making here, your soul is more important than the body. It says wish is dangerous or visha is dangerous. Which is more dangerous? If you drink wish, is it dangerous or visha? Raya Mataji saying something? Yeah, you're already unmuted, Mata. Wish or visha, which is more dangerous?
Vishay.
Visha. Why?
Because wish destroys the body, whereas Vishay destroys the soul.
Thank you. Same thing. So Vishay, we have to be very careful. Asadu, we have to be very careful. So it's not a casual thing. Yeah, I only have, 3 materialistic friends and I have, 5 Krishna conscious friends. So not that we don't hate anyone. Obviously, we respect everyone, but we don't associate. And what association means? We don't exchange our emotions with them. And even within Krishna consciousness, we have to choose our friends very carefully. Someone can be very sincere, someone may not be sincere. So if we have sincere friends, we'll grow sincerely. We don't have sincere friends, even in Krishna consciousness, we may still be carrying a lot of baggage on our head, which they are carrying. After a class, devotees take prasad, and then they talk all sorts of things. You should only be talking about the class. Why we have to talk about other things? Why? What's the need? There's no need. Hare Krishna, how are you? That's enough. Talk about the class, contemplate on the class, take those points back home. So we can't control others, but at least we should do that. When we're sitting for prasadam or some casual chit chats, we should talk. So, Prabhu, what did you like in the class? I learned this point. I really liked that point. But I didn't understand. This should be your point of discussion, not any other thing. Anything outside that house of premises, we are not interested. And you should change the topic as much as possible. Unless there's another seva which relates to Krishna, that is fine. It should be Hari Katha or seva related to Hari. Okay, so Nivritti 12, 13, and 14. Bahushishya Karan Tyag. So we were talking about it. We should not have many disciples. Rasanand Prabhu, you have a point to say?
No, Prabhu, a question on the non-devotees.
Yes.
On the previous slide. Prabhu, it's last one you said person who are against supremacy of Krishna.
Yes.
So there may be someone who may not they may not feel Krishna as supreme, they may feel Lord Shiva as supreme or someone. So do you consider them as non-devotee?
Absolutely, Prabhu. This is what Shastra is saying. And we'll read about that in chapter 8 as well. Yes, again, we don't disrespect anyone. We don't have any problem if you're following Shiva or Mata or Baba or whatever it is. But if we closely associate with them, our views may get impacted. So, yes, anyone who's not a Vaishnava, we should try to be very, very careful in their association. Because what happens many times, if not all the times, when we're trying to preach them, we get preached by them. And that can be dangerous for our own Krishna consciousness. So, yes. And in a strict sense, Rasanand Prabhu, this is what the definition. We can be respectfully saying they're also devotees, but devotee has to be of Lord Krishna. It's in every single scripture, actually. Krishna is the supreme. Now, everything else is actually not properly interpreted. That's all you can say. And I don't want to disrespect here any demigods, but this is what the reality is. Krishna is the supreme person. Even demigods, even Lord Shiva, never says this statement, but we, the follower, says all these statements that my Guru is Bhagwan and my Devata is Bhagwan. Devata is not saying, I am saying. So this misunderstanding, misrepresentation by different people may impact us. So they're also under the similar category. For our advancement, we have to be careful. Yeah. But again, as I said, association means we do not exchange our emotions. That's important. So we are very respectful to others, but we're not exchanging. If you have some problems, discuss with the devotee rather than the non-devotee or devotee who doesn't understand your background. Discuss with someone who really knows Shastra. So then you'll get some resolutions. Okay. Okay, 2 more
Thank
hands.
you, bro.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Ujjwala Samataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
actually, as you mentioned, we should not exchange emotions with non-devotees or materialistic people. But many a times it happens that the members of our family are not interested in devotional service. So, and it's not good also to completely cut off with them or not be with them. You may not exchange emotions, but then sometimes, by association itself, they start feeling they feel favorable towards devotional service and Krishna consciousness. And so if we completely avoid or
So the principle is, Mataji, you should not get preached by them. You should be preaching them. So it says you should give it to association, not take association. Now, if you don't feel strong enough to give association, don't take the association. That's the point. Like Guru Maharaj, many darsanyas, they're going for preaching outside, right? So what they are doing, they are giving association. They're going to hippies. Prabhupada went to hippies. He gave association. If we go to hippies, what may happen? We'll take association. We may. Gauranga Prabhu tells a nice pastime. In one of the temples in Hawaii, ISKCON temples, they have Panchatattva deities. And he tells, temple president is the only resident. The number of residents in the temple is always lower than the number of deities in the temple, which is 5. And he says sometimes even some devotees join the temple, they go out for book distribution. There's a nice beach there. They go out for book distribution, they never come back. So they go out preaching others, but they get preached by others. What are you doing in the temple in the shaved head? Come, I will show you how to live life. So they go out with the books, they never come back. So the point here is, are you strong enough? When Narad Muni saw Nalkuber and Manigriva in a nude state, Narad Muni was not agitated. Narad Muni uplifted them. When Ajamil saw this prostitute and the other man embracing each other, Ajamil fell down. So are we Ajamil? Are we Narad Muni? That's it. That's the answer. If you're Narad Muni, go for it. You can go to any nightclubs and this and that, go for preaching. Prabhupada was asked once, can we go out preaching in the nightclubs? Prabhupada said, yes, you can go, but make sure you come back. Prabhupada himself went to a place where everyone was without clothes. Prabhupada went there, he spent some time and he immediately said, this is not a proper place for brahmachari, let's go back. So it wasn't Prabhupada, because Prabhupada had disciples with him. So we just have to understand the principle. So your family members, if they're interested, if you're preaching to them, you're guiding them, that's fine. But if you start taking their association, it becomes a little difficult. Then just a formal relationship. Yeah, Hare Krishna, how are you? Some help is needed. That's it. Not deeper exchanges. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Vijay Gopi Mataji, you had your hand up. The question is answered. Sorry, you're on mute, Mataji. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, Prabhu. I had a similar question only, but sometimes it's really hurting, Prabhu. Like when we are in the association of relatives, they label you as you're so boring. You have so many restrictions. But earlier I was feeling a bit hurt, but now I feel that my path is a true path which I'm following, and if they are not able to understand, it's their business. It's not my.
Every soul is on their journey. We can't force anyone.
Yeah.
And we just have to be patient. If they can't take, they can't take. Just have to, pray for them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the next one. So, Bahu Shishya Karantyag, to give the desire to make many disciples, as we have discussed a little bit earlier, we should not just make disciples for the namesake, fame value, wealth value. Prabhupada was never into it. Prabhupada had many opportunities to make very big celebrities as his disciple. Prabhupada was not interested. Prabhupada said, I'm not here to make disciples. He always said, one moon is better than millions of stars. But yeah, if it's needed for Krishna's seva, Prabhupada made 5,000 disciples and tens and thousands of followers. Bahu Arambatya, give up too many undertakings. So I'm building this temple, that temple, and this project, that project. If you're constantly engaged in projects, you have no time to spend with Krishna. That's not good. Again, if it is done for the purpose of service, seva to Krishna, yes, Prabhupada also opened 108 temples. Bahusashtra Vyakhya Vivadi Tyagaha. You're reading just for the sake of impressing others. So I read only when I have to give class because I have to impress my audience. That's not the point of reading, actually. The class or the preaching. Amrita Prabhu gave a beautiful example. When you eat what is called, there's a famous mango in Gujarat, Ujjwala Mataji, what do you call? Very famous sweet mango. What's the specific? Huh? Curry? Okay, if that's the one, curry. So Amrita Prabhu was saying, if you eat a lot of curry, what burp you'll get? Curry ka burp. Huh? If you eat mango, the burp will come of mango. If you don't eat anything, you'll just get air, isn't it? When you burp, just the air will come. Huh? So he's saying, reading should be done like eating mango, for example. And then some burp will come out. That's called preaching. Huh? But if you don't have any reading or any realization, you're just preaching. Only hava is coming out. Only air is coming out. Huh? So that's not real. Huh? You should eat, like do your lot of sadhana. And in that sadhana, if you want to share something, you share with others. Huh? Not other way. I only read because I have to teach. Okay, there's one way, but that should not be the objective all the time. You're reading to come closer to Krishna, to serve Prabhupada, to learn more things so that you can share with others. But our objective is very, very clear. Very, very clear. So renouncing the study of many scriptures in order to make novel explanations and arguments. Money acquired without personal effort can be engaged for temple construction. Unqualified but serious disciples can be accepted. Now, here we're talking earlier as well. If a person is serious, doesn't have any skills, that's fine. But he's serious in advancement, he will advance. Okay, last one. Vyavhar karpanya tyagaha, giving up miserly behavior. We discussed about it. Who is a miser? Who is not interested in Krishna consciousness? Who is only interested in Maya? He's just worried about his material advancement. And we see this miserly people all the time, all the time. But a Krishna conscious person is a Mahatma. He's very generous. He's very compassionate. He doesn't hold anything back. Prabhupada never hold anything back. He gave everything to his disciples. Everything to his disciples. Shoka krodhadi tyagaha. Shok is lamentation. Krodh is like this thing didn't work. This thing didn't work. Because he understands this is all under the control of Krishna. So if something didn't work as per my plan, it's all right. Krishna is the owner. So there's no krodh. I'm just saying, but it's difficult for me to follow as well. But yeah, it's a good principle and we should try to adopt the shoka. In the past, something has happened. No. Devantar ninda tyaga. We should not blaspheme the demigods. Demigods also devotees of the Lord. They are not pure devotees. They're still devotees of the Lord. Pramatre udvega tyaga. Giving up harassment of other living entities. In our mind, body or words, we should not be envious or be against of any living entity. In whatever way possible, we should try to help others in upliftment, not trying to pull them down in any way. If you do that, my Guru Maharaj was saying that becomes an aparad. He was saying that if you're walking, you touch your feet with some other Vaishnava, for example, accidentally, right? That's not an aparad. Huh? No, you should not touch. But if accidentally that happens, that's not an aparad. But if you literally plan, I'll do this for this Vaishnava and I will not let him give class. I will not let him come at the front. I'll do this and that. All this planning is done intellectually. Then that's an aparad. Huh? So again, bhala kisi ka kar na sako to bura kisi ka na karna. Huh? And Vaishnav is very, very dear to the Lord. Although he or she may not be so good, but that doesn't matter. We are not the authority. We are not the authority. 15, 16, I'm just reading Prabhupada lines here. So that is from BRS, is Prabhupada line. Devotee should not be disturbed by material gain or loss or overwhelmed by lamentation or anger. Radhagovind Maharaj used a very nice word. Sometimes we also get angry. I get honest. But Maharaj said very nice thing. It's really good. He said, I'll say in Hindi first. I don't know how to translate. He said, "Pajame se bahar nahi hona chahiye." You understand? So even if the krodh comes, you should be able to control your anger, not get controlled by your anger. If you say zero anger, it's very high thing. But yeah, so if you get upset at something, that's fine. But you should be able to a little bit and then get out. The things are going too much, just get out. So pajame se bahar nahi hona chahiye. Rasanand Prabhu, the translation is you should not get over angry. You should not get angry at all. But even if the anger comes just a little bit, things are not working as per our plans. We are not the control. We are not the Ishvara. Just leave it. Krishna has a better plan. And how this can be accomplished? By always thinking about Krishna. No disrespect to demigods. A Vaishnava respect all living entities. What to speak of exalted demigods? They are very, very close to Lord. But he clearly understands their position in relation to Krishna. Last, no pain to other living entities. A devotee is a friend to all and has their welfare in mind. Animal slaughter especially condemned. A Vaishnava never even hurts an ant. What to speak of any other animal in any other way? Prabhupada also had a definition, beautiful definition of violence. Violence is just not on a physical level. Violence can also be done on emotional level and also on a spiritual level. So the best thing is when we give opportunity to others to grow. That's called non-violence. So even if they are eating some abominable things, it's fine. But if they are progressing in devotional life, all these abominable things will go. So we should try to give opportunities to others. Even they hear the holy name, they take some prasad, they come for a class, they bow down to Krishna's deity. That also benefits them. So we should not just look at the other side of their life. Look at the positive side of their life. Okay, let's stop here. Next class we'll read chapter 8 is 900. Done it. Thank you, Sundar Gopal Prabhu. I look at the watch and I look at Sundar Gopal Prabhu. Okay. Any questions or comments? A quick one we can take. Everyone is sleepy by now. I can understand. Many of the classes are a little boring, especially when I tell them. So please read. That's why I keep telling read Prabhupada. I'm also bringing the words from Prabhupada. But yeah, if you read the whole chapter, the classes may become more interesting.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhu, you just mentioned that earlier in the slides that the bhajan we should not share. Can you just elaborate on that? Do you mean that we should not?
Your personal sadhana, Mataji. Suppose you're chanting 24 rounds daily, for example. You should not be, not that you do, but telling everyone, Mataji, I chant 24 rounds a day. I follow Nijla Ekadashi. In Purushottamas, I only eat once a day. You know what I'm saying? Or this is your personal sadhana for your personal advancement. This is between you and Krishna. You should not be telling to the whole world. Sometimes you may say to others, Mataji or Prabhuji, you should chant extra rounds on Ekadashi, and they'll say, no, we can't. And then you can say, Mataji, I also try to chant. I get up 1 hour early on Ekadashi. Just to inspire others, you may say, I also try to do whatever extra number of rounds. So for inspiration purpose, sometimes you may share here and there, but otherwise your bhajan should be very private. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Just your personal bhajan we are talking, Mataji, or anyone.
Because we are faced if
We may become proud.
Proud and yeah.
Or if someone you tell too many to other people, actually it weakens our determination to follow that bhajan, because we're trying to become the center of attraction through that. So anything which puts us in that sort of spotlight is not going to help us. This bhajan is for our heart to get transformed, not for others to see how great we are, not that we are great. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let's stop here. Sundar Gopal Prabhu, any announcements?
Not at this stage, Prabhu. Nothing else.
So thank you, everyone. We'll meet again next week. Srila